when you prepare anything in camp, you'll prepare activities that involves a range of learning preferences, they are now called. The work we've just done shows that if you don't like to learn by reading and writing, you are less responsible in class, you have less commitment to the Noahide laws, you have a lesser belief in God, all sorts of strange things. You are less normative if you don't like to read and to write in order to learn. Now that's a problem for Aboriginals or Ethiopians or some Chinese. Because, in other words, there are privileged learning styles in our schools. And first children learn to read and write and do it quickly, and they enjoy doing it. Second children may not. The second children may move over to dancing and singing and drawing. So that's what it says here. 1, vary the activity. Explain. Why would you explain why it's useful and interesting?
So they have a reason. Reference, relationship, reference. Informative.
Yeah, no, not information.
Oh, I know, expert.
Expert, yeah. Okay. 2, this is what you just said. Let the children know that any expectations you have for behaviour are only there to allow girls to have their needs met, whatever they're going to be. I've got to enjoy themselves, be safe and learn something useful. So I've got 3. You can have whatever you like. But once you've got them, you've got to publicise them, and you've got to believe it. You've got to believe it, because if you act in a way that doesn't respect those needs, they're going to see that in a minute. So if you say they need to enjoy themselves and you are very unpleasant, they're going to see this is not true.
Everything is falling back to they have their needs that need to be fulfilled. What if they have unrealistic or irrational needs? Like, you kind of just label it as a need, and then, oh, it's a need, so all of a sudden we need
You're right. If they act in a way that does not allow other people's needs to be met, which is really what you're saying, because their needs override the needs of others, they will fall into the system of being managed. And you will sit with them one-on-one and have that discussion. And you will say things to them. Are you saying to me that because you need to be engaged and you're a bit bored at the moment, when you're bored you can interfere with everything that's going on? Is that what you're going to say?
Right.
And you'll say it in that old way, and you'll get them to do that. If they're a C, they'll turn over. They'll be right. If they're a D, they will not. They won't even impinge, because they don't have empathy. They can't. So that's 2. 3, recognise, this is going to make you happy, recognise verbally and reward with lots of literal rewards, because a reward is only as good as the time it took to give it. It's only symbolic. You're not going to give them anything they can't get somewhere else. It's just a symbolic thing of reward. So I like you, kind of thing. I like you, I like you. It's a symbol for reference relationship, especially difficult kids. Now, if you have your co-counsellor, I challenge you to have them keep a record of how much reward you give to the so-called good kids and the so-called bad kids. Because technically you will need to reward the so-called bad kids when they make the effort to behave, so they should end up getting more recognition for effort than the good kids. What normally happens, as I said to you, is the good kids get recognition and the bad kids get punished. This is not good. It's become more difficult. So even in terms of just pragmatically getting them to improve, you shouldn't do it. But everyone does it. Everyone does it wrong, including parents who love their children. So they will be nice to their firstborn and sometimes not as nice to their secondborn. It just sometimes happens that way. Or there'll be some child in the family who gets very little recognition for being good because she's not good often enough, even though when she is, it takes a huge effort. And they're not meaning to do damage, but the ratio of punishment to reward to that child is out of kilter. Yeah.
Would not rewarding good kids for behaviour ever make them fall into, like, become
It will help them internalise if you explain that the reason you don't think they should be rewarded for coming on time and joining in, etc., etc., is because they realise it's an important thing to do.
Then they'd never be If they're never awarded, but they're good, like they should.
That's a reward that you're supposed to.
And you are giving them a chance to internalise because you are removing it.
They have to know that
And then they'll have to have a reason to do it, and you actually increase their
they
likelihood
get a
of
spoken
internalising.
reward.
That's what I understand why never got reward. We only reward based on effort.
What hour you get
I got
sometimes.
It doesn't take much effort.
Okay, this is going to worry you. Can I ask you to spend some time?
I got to get my own
Maybe
bus.
talking to someone about this problem,
I gotta
and it is a problem. Why is it fair to reward people on effort and it is unfair to reward on performance? Because at the moment, we think it's the other way around. It's called, what we're doing now is called justice. Justice system is you get what you deserve. And we're saying no, you get what you need. That's what social justice is, not justice. So that's a bit between yin, I guess, and some sort of necessity kind of yin, where you get what you need, you don't get what you deserve. If we got what we deserve, we'd be in big trouble most of the time. So I guess Hashem's figured this out. He gives us what we need. So we're going to do it for these kids. We're going to give them what they need, not what they deserve, because they are behaving badly. And they only behave good very infrequently. And when they do, we're going to make a big issue of it. Yeah. We're going to say to them when they come to the group, it's good to see you on time, that's fantastic. We're not going to say that because it's necessary. We might, but if we do, we know we're doing them a damage.
But no.
Because they're going to now become more dependent upon our view of whether they're nice children or not, rather than just come because they know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but it's like reinforcement.
It could be, but we are external. Now you will have to play with this. By the way, if you think this is a difficult thing to do, try it with 200 experienced teachers, because they find this impossible to understand. They know it's right, but they know it's wrong. So you will struggle with this. And when you've got children, hopefully you'll be able to deal with all this sort of stuff. Okay. 4. Phase out the. That's the problem. You see, phase out the use of rewards as soon as a person no longer needs them. Once they've internalised. And to do that, you'll need